Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. It's brand new and I'm going to try to grow it. My name is Wheels, and today I'm bringing you 33 facts about my favorite TV show of all time, The Office. One of my favorite TV shows. I have a few, and I know I'm going to do more on the TV shows that I like, but if you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and share, and hit the bell icon. Let's get to it. First fact of the episode: the very first person to be cast on the Office TV show was B.J. Novak, also known as Ryan the Temp. The show's producer Greg Daniels was inspired by his time on Saturday Night Live, and he wanted to hire the writer-performer and other performers who were later added that were on SNL were Mindy Kaling and Paul Lieberstein. Michael Schur, who wrote and produced the show, played Dwight's cousin Mose. The next fact tails off of the last one. It's a miracle in itself that Krasinski got the role. But when he got the role, he decided he was not going to screw it up, and he did his homework. Krasinski interviewed paper company employees for research. He met with several employees at several paper companies to research his role. And he filmed the visit, and he took through Scranton, Pennsylvania, and the footage of his trip to the city was actually used in the show's opening credits. And according to Rainn Wilson's memoir, The Pursuing King, he played a role in helping production with set decoration and design details. The next fact tails off of the last one. It's a miracle in itself that Krasinski got the role. But when he got the role, he decided he was not going to screw it up, and he did his homework. Krasinski interviewed paper company employees for research. He met with several employees at Phyllis Smith. She's the actress on the show that played a character who ironically also had the same name, Phyllis Lapin. But she married Bob Vance, Vance Refrigeration, and became Phyllis Vance. She was a casting agent for the show before getting the part of Phyllis, and she was actually reading with some audition actors about the role, for the role, and then the director, Ken Kwapis, decided that she's the one who needed to play Phyllis. Phyllis Smith. She's the actress on the show that played a character who ironically also had the same name, Phyllis Smith. She's the actress on the show that played a character who ironically also had the same name. This is Greg Daniels. He is the executive producer of The Office. And Daniels wanted to make sure his actors had a background in improvisation. He said improv is a good tool to make it seem more natural. Let me tell you, this show full of improv. And it's so awesome. This is Greg Daniels. He is the executive producer of The Office. And Daniels wanted to make sure his actors... Before the American version of The Office, there was the British version of The Office. And the show creators initially stayed close to the British version. The pilot was shot essentially with the same script as the pilot from the British show, and many viewers questioned this decision, but it had to be done considering... Number 8. Originally, no one was optimistic about the show. It was hard for the cast and crew to have faith early on. During the first season, NBC executives would bring a lot of pessimism to the sets. And according to Krasinski, there were things like, "This episode is so good. Unfortunately, this is the last one we're going to do." Number 8. Originally, no one was optimistic about the show. It was hard for the cast and crew to have faith early on. During the first season, NBC executives would bring a lot of pessimism to the sets. And according to Krasinski, there were things like, "This episode is so good. Unfortunately, this is the 10 facts in, and I'm loving making this video every second of it." That being said, the cast picked the opening theme song. When it came to the show's opening theme music, series creator Greg Daniels gave the cast 4 versions of the song and let them vote on the winner. The now iconic song came from a demo by composer Jay Ferguson. Fact number: they owe their success to Apple. The one thing that helped save the show was iTunes. Around the second season, when NBC made the show available on the platform, it took up to 4 of the 5 slots for downloaded television shows. That's when the people behind the show learned that their audience skewed young, rather than the white-collar workers they thought they would be watching. 10 facts in, and I'm loving making this video every second of it. That being said, the cast picked the opening theme song. When it came to the show's opening theme music, series creator Greg Daniels gave the cast 4 versions of the song and let them vote on the winner. The now iconic song came from a demo by composer Jay Ferguson, which was then re-recorded by musician Bob Thiele Jr. The original Office theme song wasn't going to be what it is today, and that's all thanks to Heather Locklear. In 2015, Rainn Wilson revealed that a number of hit songs were given consideration for the show's opening theme, including Better Things by the Kinks and Float On by Modest Mouse. The one that the cast really wanted was Mr. Blue Sky by the Electric Light Orchestra. Those plans were dashed though when production found out that it was already the song for Blink Until You Miss It. It was a Heather Locklear comedy, LAX. In the show, the receptionist was Pam. Pam was an artist, and she painted the Dunder Mifflin building, and this is a replica of that painting. Why am I showing you the outside of the Dunder Mifflin Scranton building? To show you that the address of this building is a homage to the British show. The Scranton branch of Dunder Mifflin is located at 1725 Slough Avenue. That's not a real street in actual Scranton, Pennsylvania, though it's a reference to the original version of the show, which took place in Slough, England. The computers you see the cast members on in The Office, on set, those computers actually worked. They were full-functioning computers. They even had internet, which helped the cast feel like they were in a real live office. And they got the internet after season 1, and I remember hearing some cast members talking about how they play card games and check emails and do a whole bunch of computer stuff when the camera wasn't focused on them in their scene. The documentary crew that filmed The Office possibly had a tragic reason for covering Dunder Mifflin. In season 2, there was an episode called Performance Review, and Michael reads papers from a long-forgotten suggestion box, including a note from Tom, who wrote, "We needed better outreach for employees fighting depression." Michael actually had to be reminded that Tom actually worked there, and Phyllis reminded Michael that Tom shot himself. During a 2007 Office convention, a group of writers proposed the suicide was why the documentary crew showed up in Scranton to begin with. They wanted to document how The Office was dealing with the suicide before turning to simpler storylines. There's a scene in The Office where Jim proposes to Pam, and in that scene it's pouring rain. And that's what they wanted to do, was shoot it at an actual rest stop, but it would have cost $100,000, plus they wouldn't have been allowed to use fake rain. It was important to the scene So they built a replica of the Parkway, and they did the fake rain. All in all, the shot wound up costing $250,000. This was the most expensive and elaborate shot ever done by The Office, and it was done for a 30-second scene. You could actually buy Dunder Mifflin paper. In 2011, the company Quill.com, owned by Staples, announced that they would start selling Dunder Mifflin paper. At the time, the director of innovation explained paper is a race to the bottom, as paper usage is going down. We're looking for different pop culture phenomena and external brands that we can tie to this very mundane product. In the show, the actors are the only ones who can improvise. In season 5, Pam goes to New York City to take art classes and all that, and she closes her dorm door on a camera person who lets out an audible sigh. That was an impromptu moment from the director of photography, Randall Einhorn. Over the course of the 9 seasons, The Office characters mentioned several restaurants. A lot of them are actually real businesses. For example, Alfredo's Pizza Cafe. If you've heard of Alfredo's Pizza Cafe, and you want to try it, it's real. Another railroad business is Poor Richard's. That's the bar that's mentioned the most is Poor Richard's. Like if the Office threw a party and they wanted to get out of there, they'd go to Poor Richard's. And Kevin actually works at Poor Richard's after getting fired in the final episode. The business we all wish was real. All of us Office fans wished that Schrute Farms was actually real. It turns out Schrute Farms is not real, but its reviews are. Schrute Farms is very fictional, and that doesn't stop people from reviewing it on TripAdvisor. There's more than 1,100 reviews on Schrute Farms on TripAdvisor. Throughout all reviews, they're full of obvious office-isms, so to speak, and the site still covers its bases with a warning at the top that reads, "This is a fictional place, as seen on NBC's The Office. Please do not try to book a visit here, because you're getting nowhere." One of the sadder times in the TV show series is when Steve Carell left The Office. Michael Scott left. And the reason behind that in the show is so he can marry Holly and move to Colorado. But when Steve Carell left, he had his number retired. He was still adored by the cast and crew after leaving, and up to that point, he had always been number 1 on the call sheet. So when he left, they retired the number 1, and it didn't appear on that call sheet again. Andy became the office managers in the final 2 seasons because he is a people person. Lieberstein, who was the showrunner at the time, said that the Andy character is very different from Michael, but one of the things they have in common is they put people and relationships first. People also considered promoting Daryl, but they decided he was too rational and smart, and he wouldn't cause as many disasters. Daryl would have been a good manager, but yes, he would have been too good of a manager, and the office would have run a little too smoothly for the show's liking. So Andy was promoted to manager. James Spader was only supposed to make a cameo. The writers liked him so much so they asked him to expand the role. He has a way of taking his character so fully, even in rehearsal, that it changed the mood on set. Everyone is discovering who they are with this new energy. So his character role went from 1 cameo to many, many episodes. This next fact is a bit of a spoiler. The show ended in 2013. That was about 10 years ago, so I think I'm fine. Showrunners kept Carell's final appearance secret from everyone. The final episode, Dwight and Angela get married, and Steve Carell makes a surprise appearance, and nobody knew that he was going to be there. The showrunners didn't even tell network executives that Carell was going to appear on the finale, according to Daniels. We shot Steve's stuff and kept it out of the dailies and didn't tell him about it at the table reading. We gave Steve Carell's lines to Creed. After The Office ended, Dwight was supposed to get a spin-off show called The Farm. I'm disappointed it never played out, but I'm also kind of happy at the same time because it could have not been the same, the writing could have been horrible. But the reason the spin-off never happened is because the network passed on the show in 2012. According to Rainn Wilson, the timing was wrong. Steve Carell is not interested in joining a reboot. The show has had many reboot rumors. And if the show was to be rebooted, it would have to have Steve Carell in it, because Steve Carell was Michael Scott, was The Office for the first 7 seasons. But he's not interested in a reboot, because he said that the show wouldn't work in today's woke, politically correct climate. And he's right. The whole idea of Michael Scott would be canceled in a heartbeat if he ever showed his face on TV in a new series again. And the last fact. I'm at about 33. I haven't kept count. I don't care how many I'm at. This is going to be 33. Every episode could have been an hour long. According to Nunez, who played Oscar on The Office, the cast and crew always shot tons of extra footage, and a lot of it ended up in DVD extras. They actually claimed that in each episode, it could have been much longer. Even the awkward scenes where nothing is happening and everyone is just uncomfortable, which that's about half the show to begin with. It could have been even funnier, and the level of discomfort could have just risen even more. It would have been interesting to see hour-long episodes of The Office, and I'm actually binge watching day by day, a couple episodes or two, and it would last so much longer if they were an hour long instead of a half hour. I lost count on how many facts this is, so this is about 33 facts on the TV show The Office, one of my favorites, and I had a lot of fun making this. And I was inspired to make it because I've been going back and watching season 1, and I'm going to watch up through the final episode. Which the final episode actually was an hour long. Make that the extra fact of the day. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Until next time, I'm signing off. So long, YouTube.